So back in the late 60s and early 70s, the face of California was changing extremely rapidly and not for the better.
There was so much rampant development. The idea of having all those big buildings lining up along the coast like we're in Hawaii and other places in the world, I think really freaked people out.
PG&E at the time, they wanted to build a nuclear power plant every 20 miles along the California coast.
They were going to level off the top of San Bruno Mountain and then build condos up on top of the mountain on the mesa. And they were going to take the dirt from all that they had leveled off on conveyor belts down over the freeway to fill the bay so they could build more houses in the bay. That's the kind of thinking that was going on.
Development was largely the province of local governments, cities and counties. And all you need to get a project approved at the local level is basically 3 votes on a Tuesday.
The real estate interests that own the California coast pretty much owned Sacramento and ensured that no legislation that would thwart their economic desires would pass.
And so the bill failed. So when that occurred, we decided we had to go to the initiative.
They were going up against the who's who of California industry, all of whom were donating in the tens of thousands of dollars apiece. They hired Whitaker and Baxter to run the No on Prop 20 campaign. And Whitaker and Baxter were sort of the grandfathers of sort of dirty tricks and disinformation.
If you are a student of politics, Whitaker and Baxter is sort of like the Darth Vader Death Star of political campaign firms.
They're making up stuff. So I think it invoked anger and frustration, and it pissed people off. And sometimes that's good.
They had the money and we had the energy, you know. They had the corporations and we had the people.
This was like grassroots versus money, grassroots versus the real estate industry, grassroots versus developers.
What they managed to do, from living rooms and over kitchen tables and standing outside supermarkets, I mean, it was an extraordinary coming together of the public on a statewide basis, all with the same goal.
That you had people taking leaves of absence from work. There were a couple of doctoral students in marine biology in Los Angeles who basically suspended their doctoral thesis until the end of the campaign.
You know, there was this sort of emerging environmental consciousness and political power or force that's emerging. And it all came together, everybody came together for the entire coastline.
Peter Douglas's slogan was that, you know, the coast is never saved, coast is always in the process of being saved. And I think you can expand that to almost any environmental issue.
The Coastal Act is the floor. The Coastal Act is the foundation. Nothing happens to protect the coast unless people stay engaged. I mean, the Coastal Act is simply a tool for people to use to protect the coast, but it is still an active requirement.
I think it's a remarkable achievement to be able to take a big industrial state like California and have statewide governance along its entire coast. I think the act is probably the strongest land use planning act maybe in the world.
For us, we see everything on coast and ocean through the lens of environmental justice, and that is our, unique view. And I think that without the Coastal Act, without Prop 20, we really wouldn't even have this conversation.
It's really the public who has to protect it, because without the public standing up for it and speaking on its behalf, I fear it won't continue to exist.
I think Prop 20 was kind of the turning point of being able to make us realize that it's not just the land that's important, it's the sea and this incredibly valuable coastline that we call California.
I think you could go up and down the coast and go look at it now and see vacant areas and imagine that if the San Mateo County Board of Supervisors had their way, if Half Moon Bay had their way, if the LA County Board of Supervisors, San Luis Obispo, things would have exploded from just the pressure. It's the ground is so precious, the views are so good, it's so spectacular. And I'm sure you could say that about many parts of the state, from San Diego all the way up.
Peter Douglas used to always say that the greatest accomplishments along the coast are the things that you don't see. The wetlands that weren't filled, the freeways that weren't expanded. It's really the natural features of the coast that are the greatest accomplishments of Prop 20 and the Coastal Act.
It changed the face of California forever.